Hey, welcome to the Collector, or RC now. If you notice, we did change the name to RC just because there's a movie out there called The Collector, and I don't want to get that confused. And we are RC. I mean, it'll be some robotic stuff. But anyway, welcome to the Collector, RC. And so this is part of our lockdown type, worldwide lockdown episode, kind of a series thing we're doing. Just because we're all trapped inside. And I am at the Cuz pad. I do travel there because he's, as far as I know, I mean, you're safe, right?
Yeah, I'm healthy. I've been healthy. Staying healthy.
He hasn't been around anybody. I haven't been around anybody. It's just so we know we haven't been in contact with anything. And plus, we're safe. We wash our hands multiple times. And I get paranoid when I go anywhere out other than my home or his or my younger brother. So, anyway. So as you can see in front of you, you see some XCS stuff. Yes, we are going to talk about some SCX stuff. And you can see that there's been some changes. And I'm going to let him start with his. And then I'll go into what I've done with mine. Mine's very minimal compared to what he's done, as you can see. But yeah, and then we'll do some driving and that kind of cool stuff. So hopefully we'll be as entertained as we can while we go to describe all this, and if you enjoy it, let us know. Yeah, and let us know what you're doing, on your time. What are you doing if you're stuck at home and can't go anywhere? If you're not one of the essentials, what are you doing at home and or anywhere in the world? Where are you at, and what are you doing, and how are you coping with all this? So, and yeah, so I'll let them start.
All right, guys. Well, I started off this morning not knowing what I wanted to do with my truck, but I was bored, and so I wanted to change something. And the farther I got into it, I ended up cutting off the whole back half. In the process of cutting off the whole back half, I robbed a bunch of parts off of the deadbolt and ended up using the back half of the Jeep JLU body to make a rat rod style top for the deadbolt. A couple of the original braces up front screwed back into their places, and then just some tire glue onto the back of the car and tire glue up at the top of those braces for the front of the piece that was attached. And then it was just so I didn't have to cut it up anymore or throw it away. It just seemed like a really cool place to put it. And my cousin here noticed that if you just set it on there, it had a real low roof line. It looks kind of like a rat rod. So like I said, the whole point of the day was just to stay not bored. So kept working on it and used the whole top half of the roll cage from the deadbolt, cut a lot of the front of it away so I could hide it up inside the roof line. And then once I had kind of taken the body off of the car and flipped it upside down and kind of laid the roll bar inside of it, I realized that it was going to fit pretty good. So instead of just kind of thinking about it more, because I've been doing that for a while, I decided to go ahead and start cutting. So I cut off from the driver's door back all the way around, kind of like a pickup truck, just basically like a Gladiator. And to try to keep it from looking like a Gladiator, that's what made me want to include the roll cage. Because not that I have anything against those Gladiator trucks, but it's not necessarily what I was going for. More of a back half Toyota looking truck. But after snipping a bunch of the pieces, getting them to the right length, I used that same tire glue and just held the body upside down, let this cage sit in there. That glue hardened up really, really well. And then used the light bar that's off the deadbolt, off the front of the rack. Since I had to get rid of the front of the rack, I recycled the light bar, cut it down a little bit, and glued it to the top to give it some rooftop lights. Also did some model painting on this for the first time, where I've really only used Sharpies so far to color it, and decided to get some better color out of that. And my cousin here had some black model paint, so I did the fender flares in the black model paint. Dried out pretty good. And this is the paint we were using.
There we get close so you can. There you go. That's what we used.
There you go. Dried really quick, much quicker than I was thinking it was. It stays looking wet, so it's obviously not going to change until I get it dirty. But even though it's nice and dry, it looks like it'd come off all over your hands. All right, so after that, that was kind of done with the regular modifications of it, but I've cleaned up this truck a whole bunch underneath. And after watching another RC video that we will put in the link in the description about using WD-40 on the tires to get better grip, I did that. It works really, really well. I definitely recommend it. And then, since I still had a bunch of WD-40 all over the brush, I just kept using it on the plastics. And I've heard that from Kevin Talbot before about using it on new RC cars to kind of clean up and soften up the plastics. And it did a really good job. So in the process of cutting a bunch of stuff off and changing it, I also kind of got to detail it with that WD-40 brush. And it worked really good.
It's not necessarily recommended to do it all the time because of the WD-40, but it can eventually over soften and kind of weaken the tire and stuff. The chemical makeup combination, whatever, you know, some science involved there. But anyway, but there's cleaners you can do too that don't have the same kind of detergents and stuff that the WD-40 has that will kind of give you the same effect. So if you can find that, I don't know what that is. We can look it up and see if we can find it. And if we do, we'll put it in the description, but only if we do find it.
Right. I've heard one of the other cleaners that a lot of folks have is Simple Green. That would work really well, do the same thing, and be a lot less smelly maybe in that kind of smell than WD-40 would be.
Right. Depends on what you like there. All right. So what I've done with mine, like I said, it's very, very simple. Let me see here. So as you can see, I went ahead and repainted the gloss on my sides there, or the black there, the same paint that he used on his. And then did the same WD-40. My tires look amazing, except the insides. I did not clean the inside or do the inside. But anyway, yeah, it does show a difference. It's going to find a dirty tire here. So you look at the inside there. I guess that'd be normal. And you can see, yeah. Anyway, they do. It's just amazing. They're yeah. Anyway. So what I did to the back here, you can see I have a little ring. So we can get, there you go, right there. That's basically so we can have toe straps attached. You can see that I have a little chain kind of a thing here that if you open the inside. I have no bumper. I wanted more clearance, and just the way the conversion I did, I just didn't need it, and I can remove it. And so instead, I took the actual bracketing for the bumper and just put this through there, and it gives. I mean, it's not going anywhere. So then, that's pretty much it for that. And then we created these, and what you see here, that is actually a swivel. Right? Yeah, swivel from a tackle box, for fishing, as you can see. And we cut one end to make it kind of a hook, tied the other end, dipped it in paint to kind of give it that powder coat look. The for this one is mine here. Sorry if it's moving around a lot. I'd say focus is kind of small. That's actually from a soda can or pop can tab that I made and then dipped. So that's going to be my toe. That'll be on, I'll strap across here on the top for now. Then this one is his. You can see, we can stop wiggling there. Same thing with the fishing, cut there. This side, same thing, cut. He just did both ends with the swivels. So that's our little creation. There we go. So we're gonna do some driving. And this is just kind of some of the stuff we're doing right now. The reason why all this happened is because we're stuck inside. We can't go anywhere. Can't go to the local hobby shop because they're closed. So we're just doing our best to stay entertained, and then while doing so, we're putting on video for you guys too. So hopefully, it's giving you guys the same entertainment it kind of gives us to do. It gives you, promote some ideas or encourage some indoor RC stuff. But thank you for all the new subscribers. We're getting even closer and closer to that 100. So we really appreciate it. And if you like what you're seeing so far, go ahead and hit that like button. We appreciate that. Excuse me, a lot. And then and if you want to keep seeing what we're doing, and then seeing our future videos that are going to come out, we're throwing them out like crazy. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. All right, like we promised, we're gonna talk during these videos, or we'll do the driving part of it. So right now, this is my cousin driving, so that's why it's gonna be horrible. So as you can see here, we're just driving on some wet dirt in the backyard. Nothing too special. I mean, we're gonna end up doing the same thing with mine.
Got the giant security beast, just making sure the trail's safe.
Yeah, his dog Cooper. He's looking out for it.
He actually just wants to eat it, but he knows he'll get in trouble.
Right.
He doesn't like it when we invade his yard with RC cars.
Like I said, there's nothing too special that you're watching. I mean, you can see it, some of the benefits it has. I guess some of the terrain. It looks great with that conversion you did with the deadbolt there.
Well, like you were saying with you can't really notice the wheel wideners anymore. It doesn't look so awkward anymore in its stance. It kind of, for some reason, it made it make sense cutting the back of that body away. It doesn't look too wide anymore.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even notice. I forgot that he even actually did it, because before I didn't actually like the wideners on the Jeep. It looked a little bit better on the Chevy. And then after this conversion here, it looks right. I mean, you didn't even notice it. And the great thing about running through the grass here, as you'll see, is that they're kind of hard clumps, and it kind of just rocks your stuff back and forth. And sometimes you get into this like motion where it'll just kind of tip you on randomly. But actually, surprisingly, it's a great way to test the suspension and its tilting abilities.
Right, and it's also fun to just drive them on other stuff besides the rock courses that we build and those things, and the tree stump there, the roots of the tree, just something besides the rocks every once in a while. Like I said, we're just trying to not be super bored, so if I can use my backyard, I'm gonna go ahead and try.
Right. I hope everybody's out there staying safe and staying, keeping their sanity and stuff. So
let us know if you guys want to see any certain kind of driving videos, or if you have any questions about the upgrades. Sorry, adjusting the fire. If you have any questions about the upgrades that we did, or any upgrades that you guys have that you just have questions about, I'd be happy to figure it out and think about it. So,
right,
just trying to keep the conversation going when we don't really have much else going on.
Right. Yeah, we're here to entertain you as much as we try to entertain ourselves. So you can see here, like my body there rocking a lot. I had grease in the shocks that I obviously wore out. I thought about doing the what do you call it?
Preloading the suspension.
Yeah, preloading the suspension. Yeah. But the problem is I lose my sag, and I don't want to lose that. So it handles pretty well. The lift. One of the things we mentioned too about that, the lift that we done with this, is that it works so well with ours is because we have all the weight applied. I mean, this vehicle and the other one you just saw, they're 12 and 13 ounces. I mean, that's nowhere near what they come out of the box.
I think out of the box they're 8. At least the deadbolt out of the box was 8 ounces. And this is being weighed on my fish scale because I cannot find my kitchen scale.
Right.
I moved at some point, and I haven't used it since I moved, and I cannot find it. But I do have my fish scale, and it only weighs down, to ounces. But
right.
The deadbolt right out of the box was 8 ounces.
Right. So that's why that works so well with the lift. So if you're going to do the lift, you're going to have to counter it with all the weight. That's what makes this lift so well. And it is a little bit more trail worthy than it is rock worthy. But it climbs rocks well, and you've seen it. We tested multiple terrains. So, all right, guys, that's the end of the video. So you guys have a good one.